Okay, let's talk about basic arithmetic. And we're going to go ahead and look at this simple little multiplication problem and go down memory lane back to your second and third grade years in elementary school and see if you can remember how to do a problem like this. Please don't cheat, okay? Don't go to your calculator and be like, okay, I know the answer. That's not the point of it. Here, I'll just tell you the answer. It's 872. Okay, that's the answer. So I'm going to show you, we're going to review this together and brush off some cobwebs on basic arithmetic because arithmetic is critical. Okay, you still need to know it. A lot of you say, well, I drive my calculator. Yes, your calculator is a great tool, but you need to know the mechanics of arithmetic, okay? Multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, especially if you are studying more advanced math. Okay, a lot of you might say, well, I don't need that. I got my calculator to do like algebra. But in fact, things like this, x plus y over z, these little variables in algebra are simply placeholders for numbers. So we still need to bring our arithmetic knowledge and skills even into advanced mathematics. Okay, so what we're going to do is just take a look at this quick pop quiz. I'm also going to show you another way we can approach this problem using a particular property that's very, very useful in algebra. Okay, so before we get started, let me go ahead and introduce myself. My name is John. I'm the founder of TabletClass Math. I'm also a middle and high school math teacher, and over many years, I've constructed a ton of online, full, complete math courses. So whether you're taking middle school math, high school math, even some college math, I have right now over 100 plus math courses. So I'm going to leave a link to my math help program in the description of this video. So if you need a full course, you can check out my full courses, or if you want to check out my courses as a supplement, kind of a tutorial for what you're learning, that's another great way to use my program. Also, I offer some notes, pre-algebra, algebra 1, geometry, algebra 2, trig. You'll find those in the description or underneath this video. All right, so let's get into this problem. All right, now stylistically, how you learn this multiplication and division, it's a little bit different for all of us, but basically the mechanics are the same. Okay, now before I start this problem, let's just think about what you would probably have already learned. And by the way, I never taught elementary school, so I don't know exactly, I don't remember exactly, but I'm sure elementary school teachers would have to make sure that the students know their what before they take on a problem like this. So I'm kind of sketching it out real quick. All right, this is kind of my quick sketch of the times tables, right? One times one is one times two is two, two times two is four, two times three is six. You get the idea. So you need to know the times table. So we got to have those flashcards available. Yeah, like three times seven, what is that? Six times three, et cetera, et cetera. So before you can take on a multiplication problem, you got to really master those times table. I bet you many of you out there forget some of these things like 7 times 6 or 9 times 7. You're a little bit rusty on those. And that's perfectly okay because you're not walking around in you know, your mind as an adult is filled up with so many other things. Probably, you're just like, you got so many passwords and stuff to remember. Our life is busy that we get rusty on this stuff. But believe me when I tell you, if you're studying mathematics at any other level, obviously beyond arithmetic, you still need to remember your times table. This comes into play, okay? And by the way, one thing about the times tables and just multiplication is that before you can do, we need to understand multiplication before we can understand division. All right, well, we need to remember these things. All right, they do come into play. All right, so assuming that remember your times tables, okay, and you don't have your cell phone next to you, or maybe you're watching this on your cell phone, but you're not using a calculator is what I'm trying to say. We're going to go ahead and do this problem. All right, so now the way I was taught this way back in the good old 70s, mid 70s, I'm in my 50s now. I can still remember my first grade teacher smoking outside the classroom. That's how old it was back in the good old days. But here we go. So you're going to take this number and you're going to multiply by this number, right? So we're going to be like 4 times 8. We need to know our times tables. That's 32, right? So how do we don't write the 32 like this down here, right? Where we're taught, you're going to write the 2 and you're going to carry the 3, okay? So that's like first step. All right, we're working from this way to this way. So I'm sure some elementary teachers would explain this way better than I'm doing because I have taught middle and high school math. But let's move on. So now that we've found the product of this, we have the little 3 over here. I'm going to go 4 times 1. 4 times 1 is 4. And then we're going to add this, what we just carried, right? So 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7. All right, so I did that. And then I'm going to do what? I'm going to do this 4 times 2, and then whatever that answer is, that is 8. 872. I told you that was the answer from the beginning, and there you go. So more or less, this is hopefully what you did. Okay, I put a little X here. Some the teachers teach us in a stylistically a little bit different way. Now there are currently I know in elementary schools with some other curriculum, like say Common Core, that they're kind of teaching us in different ways. You can teach multiplication in different ways. Me, I'm old school, right? Yeah, I'll just admit it right here. I'm old school. It's like, hey, this stuff works, right? Like just the good old-fashioned procedures to it. But it's nice to look at problems in a different way. But you got to get the mechanics down. Just like, hey, can you just do this? Can you produce the right answer, right? Before you get into conceptually about what this kind of means. That's how I feel about it. All right, now let's take a look at this problem. Here's a little bonus with another approach, okay? Now, in algebra, we have this thing called the distributive property. This is super important, and it relates to multiplication. So if I have like 2x plus 3 in algebra, okay, I don't know if you know this property, but you absolutely need to know it. In algebra, I can use something called the distributive property, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to distribute that 2 times this x, so that's going to be 2x, plus this 2 times this, that is going to be 6. So when I'm looking at a situation like 2 outside of a sum like this, I can write it this way. And you need to do that in algebra. But basically, it's another way of doing multiplication. Let me show you this here, right? So let's say I have 2 times 10. Okay, 2 times 10. Obviously, the answer is 20. Okay, let me show you how we can use a distributive property to do this problem in another way. Now, this wouldn't be a practical way to do this problem, but it's going to be an illustration of the distributive property. So let's write 10 as the sum of any two numbers that add up to 10. Okay, it could be the sum or difference. Let's just say 7 plus 3. Okay, 7 plus 3 is in fact 10, right? So 7 plus 3 is 10. It's just another way to write 10. Now, I can use the distributive property. So that's 2 times 7, okay, is going to be what? 2 times 7 is 14, plus 2 times 3 is 6. 14 and 6 is 20, okay? So this is the distributive property, and it's super, super powerful and super handy, okay? So now let's go back to our original problem, 4 times 218. All right, so 4 times 218. Now, let's think about how we can make this a little bit easier on ourselves, right? So this is another way we can write this problem. When we learned this back in the second or third grade, we write it stylistically this way, right, with the little X and the bar. But mathematically speaking, okay, I could write it like so, okay? Now let's use the distributive property to figure this guy out. So I can write this, let's use easy numbers, right? So 4, maybe 2 times 200, 218 could be 200 plus 10 plus 8, right? So let's say, make sure that I did this right. 200 plus 10 plus 8, that's 18, that's 218. There you go. So let's go ahead and apply the distributive property. Let me scoot this over, give myself some room. All right, so 4 times 200, hopefully you're saying, oh, okay, that's 800. That's pretty easy to figure out in our head, right? That's just kind of like mental math. 4 times 200, all right, that's 800. 4 times 10 is going to be 40. And then 4 times 8 is going to be 32. All right, so in our brains here, we could be like, all right, 40 and 32 is 72, so that's 800 plus 72, or 872. Okay, and I'm pretty sure that is the answer to this problem when we did it the first time. Okay, so the distributive property is another way to approach multiplication. Okay, but you can't do division, all right, until you understand multiplication. Now, I'm just going to give you one little bonus here, just to kind of really drill in. You need to understand these procedures to multiply and divide. So if I did something like 13 divided into 2078, right? You would have to use your what we call division algorithm. All right, division algorithm, which is like your little, recipe to figure this out. You're like, okay, 13 goes into 20. You were taught all this stuff. You don't remember, exactly all the steps, but you could probably, hopefully, you can still do a problem like this. You can remember, all right, do this, check that, da 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 da. But your memory is running like a computer program. Anyways, this is called the division algorithm, and it's extremely important in more advanced algebra. Well, let me just show you. Like if I could do something like this, x plus 1 divided into 3x squared minus 6x plus 9. Okay, so I can divide what we call polynomials by using long division, which is the same algorithm as this, more or less. So what's the point? The point of this whole video is, one, just to go down memory lane and see if you can kind of do a problem like this, but to reiterate the importance of arithmetic. You got to know arithmetic. So if you're in a class, an algebra class or beyond, all right, you should just spot check yourself and brush up on your little times tables and your arithmetic procedures. You never know. You might be, tutoring your kid or your grandkid in this basic stuff. So the further you get away from it, the harder it is going to be to kind of relearn this. It's like riding a bicycle. If you haven't rode a bike for 15, 20 years, you probably could get on it, but the first couple minutes might be a little shaky. Then you'll get going. All right. Remember your arithmetic. That's the point. So anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this video. And certainly, I love the distributive property. Hopefully you're like, that was really cool. But anyways, it just shows the power of working with numbers and a real respect for our elementary school teachers, okay? Oftentimes I don't think we really truly realize how important elementary school was to us. That's where we learned how to write, read, arithmetic. Extremely important. So kudos to those of you out there that might be elementary teachers or preparing to be so. We really do have to, thank all those people who've helped us with our education. Okay, so if you enjoyed this video, certainly appreciate you smashing that like button. And if you're new to my YouTube channel, I have hundreds and hundreds of math videos on my channel that can help you out various levels of mathematics, and I organize them in different playlists. So that's something that you can use as a reference. Again, if you like my teaching style, I really want my full, complete instruction, just check out the links in the description of the video, and there's some good resources there for you. But with that being said, I definitely wish you all the best in your mathematics adventures. Thank you for your time, and have a great day.